Jason here, coming to you today. God bless you. Video today, going to be contrary to the last one I did. What are the reasons to be excited about the possibility that we're very close at the door to the rapture? And why do the Watchmen believe this to be true? We're going to walk through it today. And it should be noted, I agree with this viewpoint over the last video I did. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, thumbs up. And of course, if you're not saved, we need to be worried about that first and foremost. By the blood of Jesus Christ is a free gift of salvation. What he did on a cross 2,000 years ago is God dying for you. So you can go to heaven and not hell. The Son of God in flesh form, Emmanuel, came down. The Messiah walked perfect for a period of 33 and a half years, shed all his blood, and that's what saves you if you believe with your heart and confess with your mouth, according to 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, that Jesus died on a cross. He was buried, and on the third day, he rose from the dead. Believe that too, salvation, why you still can. So what are some of the reasons why I think the Bible clearly shows we're close? We're going to go through it today. So we know Revelation 20 verses 2-6 clearly states about 6 times that the millennial reign will be 1,000 years. And 7 is an important number to God. 7th is the 7th day. It's Sabbath. It's a day of rest to the Jews. And if you look at the period of time, since Christ died on the cross, and you go backwards in time, you find about 4,000 years or 4 days. And the church ages has been about 2,000 years, and that's 2 days. And on the 7th day, there'll be rest. It's a Sabbath. And the millennial kingdom is 1,000 years, which is the 7th day. So just looking at time and how it's elapsed, we're close. That's reason 1. Reason 2, the nation of Israel formed back again as promised in the gospel. And we'll look at Matthew 24, 32 and 33. Now learn a parable of a fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know the summer is nigh. So likewise, you, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. And so that generation of Israel that came in one day, and the reason I believe 1948 is the correct date is it says it'll come, the nation of Israel will come in one day, and it did on that day in 1948. And so that generation that saw that will live to see the second coming, the second advent, the battle of Armageddon. So we can't be too far off. Now the question just becomes the definition of a generation. Most people use Psalms 90:10 for that, which is 70 years, and if by strength 80, we're in the 73rd year, so that's another reason why we're close. Now I will say there are other definitions, and to be fair, some of them have come and gone. The first part of Psalms 90:10, the 70 year, has come and has gone. The Matthew 1:17, if you look at that, the definition of a generation is about 42 years. That has passed. But the 80th year, and then if you look at, like I mentioned yesterday, you can see a definition in Genesis 15:13 as 100 years long, with the exodus of the Jews out of Egypt, and it took, they said, 4 generations, which would be 100 years. 4 divided by 100, 400 is 100 years, and then 5:21 is the verse that mentions a particular person in the generation, must die or whatever before it can happen. So those are all possibilities, but again, all those are close. They're not far off. The other reason is, I think the New World Order and the system of the world has been building up for this, and you can see signs of it in technology. And if you go back 50 years ago, you could never believe that AI would be available to broadcast an image across the world of the beast, for example. And they say in the tribulation that the image will be worshipped. And so that's possible today. That's very possible today. We also have the rabbis and the Jews saying they're talking to their so-called Messiah, which is the Antichrist. Never in the past history have they ever done that, or even hinted at that. So we believe he's alive and in the world today, which means it's not far away. That's another great reason for it. The Third Temple Institute certainly has everything prepared. And we have seen the falling away of the church. So the falling away is there, Israel is there, and the Third Temple is even ready to go. All great reasons. And that means it's imminent. Before Israel probably was existed, if you read the Bible, you couldn't say that the rapture was imminent because the generation of the fig tree wasn't in place that would see all the events to come and the end times, eschatology, the end of the church age, the tribulation, and the second coming. Now it is imminent because the nation of Israel. So all these great reasons and many more that we see, just like the days of Noah, I believe the DNA and RNA is being changed, much like Genesis 6 and the fallen angels that came down. Very similar. Christians are mocked about the rapture, just like Noah was mocked about building his ship, his boat, and all very similar. We also have Daniel's 70th week. We've covered 69 of them, so that means we're close. And so all these things point to rapture. And not only that, people are having dreams of raptures. And I think that's significant in these last times. As long as it's just a rapture dream and not something else, I think that is truly from God. So I think essentially, we are getting close. And the gospel has been spread in most nations because of technology. You couldn't say that in the past as well. Anyway, I hope this is a blessing. I think we're close. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I think we're in the season. And so the time and seasons, brethren, we can discern. And again, that is a Matthew passage, which is more towards the tribulation than it is for us. But I do believe that watchmen and watchwomen can know it's upon us. So, stay positive, stay excited. I think we're going home soon. God bless and have a great day.